Hey guys, welcome back to Salesforce Commerce. If you're watching my previous video, you already have your own sandbox where you are able to log into the sandbox. You should have also downloaded the program that we will need, Visual Studio Code, including the Salesforce extension pack, and also you have enabled a Git within your computer. With this said, I'm so excited to start working with you and set up your own first B2B commerce. So let's start ahead and jump into the Visual Force Code, where is your environment where we're going to start the whole setup. First thing first, let's open the terminal to check where you are with any update for SFDX. So terminal, new terminal. Here's a few things that you need to have. Just first forward is one of them is to check your current SFDX version. Make sure that you are with the latest version. Right now your version is the 1.14 your CLI, and if I need to do any update, all you need to do is SFDX update, and we are going to find if there is any update. Right now I am in the 1.14, so I'm assuming it's going to be just a few items that need to be updated. Once the update is complete, we are going to start working. I'm going to have a script already on my left side with all this information that we need, but let's wait until this to be up and running. So the first thing after it has been updated, you all set up with your org and you have the CLI open here. We are going to clone the current basic store into your local machine, and the way to do it is using the GitHub. I'm going to copy the link. Obviously the link will be showing on your and the video. Let's jump here. Here we'll need to open the SFDX interface, and as you see it's Control Shift and P. And here I will check Git, make sure that all your Git functions are logged in inside. We are going to use the Git Clone, and we are going to paste this URL. It will be again on the video, but you can pause it here and copy this URL as well. Once you click clone this URL, it will ask you which folder you want to keep this one. In my case, I'm going to create a new folder, and I call it B2B CR 101, and I'm going to save everything within this folder. So I'm going to select this folder, and right now the system set up to everything to run with this folder. And as you see, this is my folder that I created. I have all the starting file that will help me to kick it on. Main folder that we're going to use is the Salesforce FWX folder, where we are going to run all this command line from here. First command will be to convert the example to SFDX. In order to do it, we are going to do right click, and you're going to reveal file in Explorer. You will have a pop-up windows where you can see your file, and what I want you to do is just double click on this and it will open with your Git. Once it's running, this will copy for your local machine to your folder that we just create all the data that will help us to set up a default store. Let's give it less than a minute in order to have it. Once we will have this all data loaded, this window will be closed, and the next step that we are going to have is to log in into your box. At this point, everything is closed, and the next step will be logging into your box. In order to log into the box, again, we are going to make sure we are on the SFDX, and we are going to open a new terminal. I'm going to raise it up a little bit so it will be much easier for us to see all the process. So first thing first, we're going to log in into your box. In order to log into your box, we have a few. I want you to run the script, which the script saying that SFDX to force login. Once you click enter, it will ask you if you want a login. You tell them yes, and it will open you a new Windows with your login user and password. In my case, this is the user for my new the org that I created. I'm going to click login. As we spoke before, once you log in into your box have their own org ID. In order to view your org ID, just click on the gear on the top, click setup, go to the search, type company, just the beginning company, and you will find company information underneath. And once you have the company information, you will see your org ID. This is your org ID, and it's sitting, at these positions. What we have right now is you can close this one and go back to your Visual Code, and you will see that he was able to log in into your org ID and he authorized. So from here, I can do some action on my org remotely using the SFDX. So next step will be, after we logged in, we are going to run a few scripts to create the org from scratch. In my case, I'm going again to copy the script that we will need. So what we have here with this script, we are going to create a scratch org. The scratch org will be created on the main org that you created here, and you will need a fresh new user to add it. In my case, I'm using the same user. I'm just adding at the end A3 or any number that you want in order to be run. Other parameter that you need is the last parameter that's telling you how many days you want this org to be alive. After 30 days, this org will be wiped down. So we are going to click here and let it run. Now this can take up to a few minutes to run. I will keep it running, and I will expedite the video as we go. Meanwhile, until this is running, I just want you to prepare to the next step. And after he will create us the scratch org, we are going to do a few things. First of all is log in into the new org that we created. Then we are going to retrieve outside the password that we'll be able to log in into the store. Once we retrieve the password, then all we need to do is just to run the script to load the store with data, and we are done. So at this point, let's have the system running and create me my scratch org. As I mentioned, it's taking a few minutes to do it. Right, so while updating and creating my org, you see the first request has been filled. So I just triggered with a new one, and in order to be safe, I create with a new user in order to make sure that the scratch org will create successfully. So my current user is this one, and after a while, as you see, my new org has been created, my new scratch org, and it will be available for 30 days, and this will be the user admin in order to access. What I'm missing is a few things. I'm missing the password and the access key for this box. In order to retrieve this data, all we need to do is, first of all, we need to log into this org. Now, since I'm already here created, the session is open, I'm going to log in inside by using my command to log in, but instead of display this events, I will just go and click the open. What he will do, he will open behind the scene my new org, and as you see, my new org is appearing here on this front. And once you have it here on your new org, if I will go and try to type commerce, you see the commerce already installed here, the store, but it's still empty. So the current, we are halfway inside. I don't have yet the store to be ready, but at least I got the application, everything is set up. I will close this down and go back to my Salesforce. Now, once I'm logged in into my current org, I can request out and see what is my username and the actions. And when I will go in using this command, you will see I got the access token, and I make sure that that I have my user ID is set up here. What I'm going to do, I'm just copy all of this to my notepad so I can have it handy when I need it. And the next step is we want to create a user, to generate a user for a password, for this user. I'm going there's a small script that we need to run, and the script is here. and I'm going to copy the script away, and this is the script that, and instead of BA, my user is 3. The same user that I'm doing, I'm going to generate the password, and here is just generate the password with the target name for this user. Just clicking end and waiting. Successfully created the password. Here's the password for my user. So, and this is the way if you want, you keep it on your record, but again, I'm putting this in my notepad just to use it for next time. So now that I have my user, I'm able to access, the organization. I will go into the last step, which the last step will be to generate, your store. So what I want you to do, make sure that we are all still under the SFDX, otherwise it's not going to work. And we are going to create our store. So same thing, send, and click the enter. You will have a pop-up coming up. It will ask you the store name. In our case, we are going to call the store name Mr. Coffee. Make sure everything is lowercase, no spaces or dash, just for the store name, otherwise it will fail. This section taking a little bit time. So I have created here. I clicked the enter already there, and I'm waiting for the system to create the store. Now, don't be alerted when you see here that is sending every few seconds API call to the server to create, to check if the stories exist. And as you see, store is not yet, to create it, and it will go back and it will try another 10 seconds until the store will be ready. Meanwhile, I think I did close my org, but let me just open in the meantime your org and just see that where we are there. So just the current org to open, because I closed it last time. So here, let me go back to the commerce while this one is running. And here we're waiting for the store, and here you see already created the store, so I'm assuming here it will continue with the next step with loading all this information, which is great. And again, once this is loaded out, you are officially done. You will have your store already set up. The only caveat that we have here for this store is that you will have the whole store, everything is built out, include the product, category, more category, whatever. The only caveat here right now, the images are not loaded. We don't have a script to load the images. I will have a separate video how to load the script, how to load the images into your store. So let's continue and check what's happening with my things. As you see, it's completed. They have a lot of items, and as we go, if I will just browse it here, and I will just try to go to my store right now and start checking what items are being repopulated. I will go and click here to the store. This is the store that we created, Mr. Coffee, and we will wait until the store to be loaded. Obviously it's still running behind the scene. This is a scratch org, by the way, so performance are not going to be the same like on production. It's depending on the time of the day when you're running your org, but most of the cases run really fast at my end. Let's see what's happening, because it's still running. Yes, so it's still running inside, loading the whole data, metadata, and everything going all the way. Once you will finish, you will close these windows. Now, if you see on my current store here, one of the steps that you will do is obviously assign a catalog where we have a category name, and then we have some product. We will need to have a buyer group that allow you to shop, and those buyer group need to have their entitlement. I'm going to review it as well. Price book, so you can share with your client, and the pricing, the one that is logged in, and obviously eventually you need to run the index and eventually activate your store. This script need to activate all the steps that you see on the screen, need to activate, including running the index and activate the store. We will wait until the script will run, and then we can do also refresh on this page. Meanwhile, while it's running on the ground, let me make sure that we are watching in the meantime with my other video, so we can go and see and check while this script is still running. I still have, my Mr. Coffee. Let's see what setup is doing. So here is all this information that we need. First thing first to see is the catalog. If I click on the catalog to review all my catalogs, still waiting for him. Let's do a refresh on the page. And this is the catalog that he created, catalog from Quick Start. If I look on the catalog, you will see all the category that he created. Those are the category that will appear on the websites he already created, Now each category will have their own product assigned to them. The product are here, as you see, so we already have all the product assigned to them. As I discussed media, we don't have the image of those, product, including if I go to product, that I will open the product here. You won't have any media. We'll have a separate video how to upload this media, because this script doesn't update it, the media. So we got, also the product informations that assigned, the product assigned to a store already. And one of the pieces that we're missing is the buyer. And here it is, the buyer group. If you look on the buyer group, we have a setup buyer group, it's here. And if I click on the related buyer group, you see this buyer group has their own pricing. So if I open the pricing, I will have a default pricing running for each one of the product. What are the pricing? I will have as well the members set up, the group with the account, and also the entitlement, which tell me what product I'm going to see for those user, and they are here on this product. So as you see, everything has been set up automatically. We can create a separate video how to manage the B2B store, but overall everything you need are already here and done. Meanwhile, I say that it was running, it was completed. Let me refresh at my end. So at this point we should have already a working store. Let me go back here to the Mr. Coffee. And again, how to go there, the easy way is just go in here to the drop down list. Obviously you need to be on the commerce app. You go to the store. Once you inside your store, select your store, so Mr. Coffee, and here's all the item. I'm still waiting for the search to be run. If you will see, the system script already triggered this for you. Actually it's here already. So it was triggered manually and it was done, so we are good to go. Let me go back to the coffee and refresh this page. Yes, as you see, the trigger, this one already is triggered. And the last final is just a checkout for you to activate the store. Let's go and check to activate the store. And this is all the item that the system did for you. Create the script, create you the catalog, it create you a product, create you a buyer group to allow buyer to access. And here's all this information that you need. If you need to double, they have a nice way how to go there. So we have also a pricing, and we have also a experience workspace. We're going to visit in a second to see the store. And eventually we got all your item and what you need to. It's activate the store. Yes, it's activated here. And what I want to do right now is just go and see my store, the store that is running here. As you see, I will close this, and here is the store. We got all the menu. If I click a preview on the top, you will see all your store. I will go to the grinder, and it will bring me all the product. As we discussed, no images are here, but each one of the product are listed here. Search is working as needed as well, and you're ready to go with your new store. Reason you don't see pricing here, because right now you're authenticated user and there's no way for you right now to see pricing unless you logged in from as authenticated, and you provide authenticated user to have a pricing. Alright, we are done with this video. Hope you enjoyed the video, and looking forward to share with you my other videos. See you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching and looking forward to see you again.